Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for tuning into my channel. Blaze here with Moves Media, and today I wanted to share 5 tips to make your aerial drone footage look super cinematic. Check it out.
3, 2, 1.
So drones are extremely popular now, and there are a ton of people out there flying around getting a ton of footage. But to separate yourself from everyone else flying, there are some essential things you can follow to really create cinematic video footage anytime you launch your drone. Tip number 1 that I wanted to share is don't be jerky. One of the most common mistakes that people make is when they're filming, they'll have bumps or shakes in their shot. This really creates a disturbance for anyone watching your video and just ruins the cinematic feeling of those smooth extended shots. So really making sure that when you're flying, that each take or cut or sequence that you're filming is nice and smooth and there's no bumps or jitters. We're gonna make your footage look way more cinematic, something to really focus on when you're flying your drone. The second tip that I wanted to share is adding perspective using the landscape around you. When you're flying your drone, using different landscapes depending on where you're flying, or even just flying lower to the ground, is going to create a more cinematic feeling because the movement or the speed at which you're flying is going to be really relevant if there's that reference point like the ground or a tree or the mountain that you're flying close to. If you fly super high, which is great to do to get that perspective, but when you're moving or flying your drone, even if you're flying really fast, it's not gonna look like there's much movement to the viewer. So bringing your drone down or using the landscape around you to fly close to create that feeling of movement is gonna make your aerial footage look way more cinematic and professional. So when you're flying your drone, don't just shoot up as high as you can because you can, but use the landscape around you to create a cinematic shot. Tip number 3 is getting basic shots and basic maneuvers first. A lot of new drone pilots want to fly their drone in all kinds of crazy patterns and flight paths, but one thing you want to make sure you do when you're filming is get the essential shots to whatever video you're creating first. These could include basic slow pushes, slides, really focusing on the shot that you're getting and not worrying too much about flying as fast as you can is going to ensure that when you go into that editing process, you're going to have footage that you can use. If you just go out there, fly like a maniac, you might come back to the editing room and realize all the foot looks like crap. Tip number 4 is making sure that you get a variety of angles and fly at different altitudes in your shot. One thing that I make sure when I'm on any shoot is that I'll make sure that my frame is focused on different things around me. I'll fly at different altitudes, change my gimbal pitch and camera angle, get top-down shots, get straight-on shots, getting basically as many different shots at different altitudes and vantage points and angles I can. So when I'm editing my footage, there'll be some nice contrast between cuts, and it'll be a way easier to hold the viewer's attention. It'll make it for a more interesting video. So making sure that you get different angles, different altitudes, different gimbal pitches when you're filming any aerial footage is a great tip to improve your video. Tip number 5, and something that's overlooked by a majority of aerial pilots, is adding sound design to your videos. Now, drone footage is incredible and it's really breathtaking to watch, super cinematic, but adding sounds to whatever is in your scene, like adding a sound effect of a river if you're filming a river, or just natural sounds in the background, it's gonna add a way bigger punch to any video that you're creating. So adding sound effects is something that is key, and you'll see the transformation from no sound to sound really make your video jump out to the viewer, a lot more interesting, hold people's attention. Highly recommend it. One bonus tip that I wanted to share, and something that I've actually outlined in my Aerial Drone Pilot Udemy course, which I'll link in the description below, is the different maneuvers you can do with your drone. Now, one thing I go over in detail in the course that I shared in the description below is all the different maneuvers you can do with your drone and how to control it to make for super cinematic footage. But one that I wanted to share with you here is the point of interest arc. And to do this, you want to master flying your drone with the left joystick controlling the angle or direction you're flying at, and using the right joystick to control your speed. A lot of people just use that right joystick to fly in the direction they want to fly, but changing and teaching yourself to use your left joystick to turn and create these really smooth arcs, and using your right joystick just to indicate the speed that you want to fly at is going to really amplify your footage. It's going to open up an arsenal of different flight paths and styles to film. And there are a ton of techniques like this that I share in that Aerial Udemy course, which I encourage you guys to check out if you're wanting to improve your drone footage. But the point of interest arc is just an example of that, where you can change the arc angle with your left joystick and the speed at which the drone is flying using that right joystick. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it super helpful for your aerial drone filming. If you like this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing to my channel, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.